I decided to make a remake of this video because I've had a lot of comments that the captions on the bottom of the screen were a bit too quick and people couldn't read them. So I decided to talk you through this. You can listen to my beautiful voice. During our visit we stayed at the Cotswolds Water Park. Very nice. Our first port of call in the week was the small town of Tetbury. Tetbury, an historic old town, is a southern gateway to the Cotswolds. The town is known as an architectural gem, with many of the wool merchants' houses remaining the same as they were in the 16th and 17th centuries, during the height of the town's prosperity from the wool trade. Just south of Tetbury is Highgrove House, the family residence of the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. If you like vintage stores, antiques and the Prince of Wales' original Highgrove shop, then Tetbury is well worth a visit. This is the church of St. Mary the Virgin. Built between 1777 and 1781, the church is described as one of the best Gothic designs. We leave Tetbury and make our way to BIBURY. BIBURY was once described by William Morris as the most beautiful village in the Cotswolds. One of the village's main tourist spots, and overlooking a water meadow, is Arlington Row, a group of ancient cottages with steeply pitched roofs dating back to the 16th century. The cottages were built in 1380 as a monastic wool store. This was converted into a row of cottages for weavers in the late 17th century, with some late 17th or early 18th century additions. Henry Ford thought Arlington Row was an icon of England, and on a trip to the Cotswolds he tried to buy the entire row of houses to ship back to Michigan for his Greenfield village. BIBURY has provided the backdrop for blockbuster films including Stardust and Bridget Jones's Diary. Now it's time for a cup of coffee at the old mill. Believed to date back to the 17th century, Arlington Mill is now a private residence. It used to house the Museum of Arlington Mill, with a collection of period clothing, documents and working machinery, illustrating the Victorian way of life. When in BIBURY, you must visit the BIBURY Trout Farm. It was founded in 1902 and is one of England's oldest working trout farms. And now we move on to Cirencester. Cirencester is often referred to as the capital of the Cotswolds. It was the second largest town in Britain during Roman times. Often called the Cathedral of the Cotswolds, St John the Baptist Church in Cirencester is one of the largest and most elegant medieval churches in the county, if not the entire country. With its magnificent fan-vaulted ceilings of the south porch and a rare wine glass designed pulpit dating from 1450, it seems hard to believe that little more than 100 years later, this glorious building was a temporary prison for more than 1,000 citizens of Cirencester, who were locked up here overnight by the Royalists after a Civil War battle in 1642. The Roman name for Cirencester was Corinium, and the museum has a large collection of objects found in and around the town. The museum is a collection of 2nd and 4th century Roman mosaic floors and carvings, as well as other Roman objects, large and small. Next we visit Burford. Burford is so popular with visitors, both for its beauty and history, but also for its shopping, especially antiques, and for the wide variety of places to eat, with restaurants, pubs and tea shops. Here you can stay in a hotel frequented by King Charles and Nell Gwyn, or dine where Nelson dined, or visit England's oldest pharmacy, a chemist, in 1734. The 15th century church of St John the Baptist took over 3 centuries to build, from 1175 onwards. Its fan-vaulted ceiling, Norman west doorway and 15th century spire remain intact. The star attraction is the macabre 1625 Tanfield tomb. It depicts local nobleman Sir Lawrence Tanfield and his wife, lying in finery above a pair of carved skeletons, one leg bone of which is said to be real. Next we visit Lower Slaughter, where I can show off my parallel parking skills. Pretty stone cottages, rose flower gardens and gently flowing streams. If you're looking to step back in time in the heart of the Cotswolds, then you simply must visit Lower Slaughter, a settlement which dates back over 1,000 years and may well be the prettiest village in all of Gloucestershire. Slaughter sounds like it would be the last place you want to visit, and even sounds a little murderous. However, the word actually derives from the Old English slough, meaning something along the lines of a muddy place. Today, many of the houses in the village find their roots in the 16th and 17th centuries. Leaving Lower Slaughter, we now travel on to STOW on the Wold. STOW on the Wold is a charming market town in the Cotswolds, with a large and lively market square and a fine reputation for some of Britain's best antique shops. It's also home to some of England's oldest pubs. Originally built in 975 AD, the Porch House is reputed to be England's oldest inn. In 1646, a royalist army was brought to bay at STOW by a Parliament force. The fighting was fierce and deadly. The royalists were routed and over 1,000 imprisoned in the church. So great was the slaughter that it was said that the ducks were able to bathe in the pools of blood that formed on the market square. And now we move on to FAIRFORD. The town sits on a lovely stretch of the River Colne and owes its fortune to its location, an important coaching town on the old London to Gloucester route. Some of the inns and hotels are reminders of this. As with so many villages, its great glory is its parish church, St Mary's. It is notable for its complete set of 28 medieval stained glass windows, one of the best preserved in England. And finally, we arrive at my favourite village, BOURTON on the water. BOURTON is often referred to as the Venice of the Cotswolds because of the attractive little bridges that cross the gently flowing River Windrush. There's been a settlement in BOURTON since Anglo-Saxon times, and it's mentioned in the Domesday Book. The word BOURTON is of Saxon origin, derived from borough, meaning fortification or camp, and the ton meaning estate, enclosure or village, so taken together you have village beside the camp. Right children, follow me. Oh well, let's try again. Right. Full steam ahead. Ah, made it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget, please subscribe. Bye.